In those days, Haran, the eldest son of Terah, married a woman and had children. Haran was 39 years old when he married, and his wife soon gave birth to a son, whom they named Lot. After that, she gave birth to a daughter, named Milcah, and then another daughter, whom they named Sarai. Haran was 42 when Sarai was born, in the 10th year of Abram's life. At that time, Abram, along with his mother and nurse, left the cave where they had been hidden, as King Nimrod had forgotten about the incident involving Abram. Upon leaving the cave, Abram went to the house of Noah, the great patriarch, and stayed with him and Noah's son, Shem. There, he was taught the ways of the Lord. Abram lived with Noah for 39 years, learning wisdom from him. He knew the Lord from the age of 3 and remained steadfast in his ways throughout his life. During this period, the people of the earth turned away from the Lord, creating idols of wood and stone. They worshipped these lifeless gods and forgot the true Creator. Among the people, King Nimrod and his servants, along with Terah and his household, were among the first to follow idols of wood and stone. Terah, in particular, had 12 gods made from wood and stone, each representing a month of the year. Every month, he would offer sacrifices and drink offerings to these idols. This generation, wicked in the sight of the Lord, made gods for themselves but abandoned the true God who had created them. There was no one else in those days, apart from Noah's family, who knew the Lord. The rest of the world followed their own man-made gods. While Abram grew up in Noah's house, no one knew of his greatness, but the Lord was with him. The Lord granted Abram wisdom and understanding, allowing him to recognize the futility of the gods of the time. He knew these idols were powerless and of no value. One day, Abram looked upon the sun and wondered, "Surely this sun is the God who created all things." He worshipped the sun that day and prayed to it, but when evening came, the sun set as usual, leading Abram to question, "Surely this is not God." Abram continued to search for the true Creator. He asked himself, "Who created the heavens and the earth? Where is He?" As night descended, Abram looked to the 4 corners of the earth, the west, north, south, and east, and saw the sun had disappeared, and the world became dark. He saw the moon and stars appear and thought, "Perhaps this is the true God who created the earth and all mankind." He prayed to the moon that night. But in the morning, as the sun rose again, Abram realized that these celestial bodies were not gods, but servants of the true God. He knew then that he must serve the Creator. Abram remained in Noah's household, continuing to learn and follow the ways of the Lord, while the rest of the world forgot their Creator and worshipped idols. Meanwhile, King Nimrod ruled over the earth, which was united by a single language and a common cause. The great leaders of Nimrod's kingdom, Phut, Mitzrayim, Cush, and Canaan, came together and proposed to build a great city with a tower that would reach the heavens. They believed it would make them famous and protect them from their enemies. They presented their plan to King Nimrod, who agreed to it. The leaders gathered a vast number of people, about 600,000 men, and set off to find land for their city and tower. After searching the earth, they found a valley in the east of Shinar, modern-day Mesopotamia, about 2 days' journey from the land of Shinar. They decided to settle there. The people began making bricks and building the city and tower. They were determined to complete the task. As they worked, they grew increasingly rebellious, planning to ascend into heaven and challenge God. The people divided into 3 groups. One group wanted to fight against God, another wanted to place their own gods in the heavens, and the third group intended to strike God with arrows. The Lord knew their evil thoughts and their plans. The people built a massive tower and city, and as they ascended, they encountered difficulties. The mortar and bricks they needed to continue the construction did not reach the workers until after a year. The workers ascended the tower, and if a brick fell and broke, they would weep. If a worker fell and died, no one would take notice. The Lord saw their arrogance and caused confusion among them. They began shooting arrows toward the heavens, thinking they had struck down those in heaven. This was all part of the Lord's plan to confuse and punish them for their rebellion. The people continued building the city and tower for many years, but the Lord saw all their works and thoughts. He sent 70 angels to confuse their language so that they could no longer understand each other. From that day, the people could not communicate, and the construction of the tower ceased. The workers, now speaking different languages, could no longer work together. In their confusion, they began to fight and harm one another. The Lord punished each of the three groups according to their actions. Those who sought to ascend to heaven and serve their gods became like apes and elephants. Those who planned to attack heaven with arrows were slain by their own hands, and those who intended to fight God were scattered across the earth. Those who remained recognized their mistake and abandoned the tower, scattering over the earth. The place was called Babel because it was there that the Lord confused the language of the earth. The land was in the east of Shinar. As for the tower, the earth opened its mouth and swallowed 1/3 of it, and a fire descended from heaven and consumed another third. The remaining third still stands today, with its base covering a 3-day journey. Many people perished in the tower, their numbers countless.